Hey guys, Levi Gates for the Rag Company, and with me, Mr. Ivan LaCroix of Optimum Polymer Technologies. How are you, buddy?
Great, yourself.
Good to see you again. I feel like this is deja vu because you and I are here, only this time we're not at my old shop. We're in the new Infinity Studio.
Exactly.
But the Rag Cobra's here.
Yep.
We thought we'd come back at you with a new video, an updated video. Basically, the process of applying Gloss-Coat.
Right.
We're fielding a lot of questions. I'm sure you guys field a lot of questions as well on the proper installation of Gloss-Coat. So why don't you take it away, man?
Well, we started, we washed it, we clayed it, we polished it. So we polished with hyper polish, black waffle pad to finish it off, and now we're ready to remove the polish residue. To remove the polish residue, we're going to use O&R.
And we're going to use a towel soaked in O&R.
Correct.
So for this process, we're going to be using our Edgeless 365. And I want to reiterate, we polished this with hyper polish.
Yes.
And the black waffle pad.
Yep.
On a speed 3. So any of those of you that are wondering, we used a long throw polisher on speed 3.
And if you're using a rotary, 600 RPM.
Very slow speed.
Yeah.
So that's what you're seeing on the surface of the car is just the leftover hyper polish.
Right.
And like Ivan says, we're going to be using some O&R. So I've got my bucket of O&R here. This is mixed up at 256 to 1, so or half an ounce per gallon of water. So half ounce O&R.
You don't want the towel to be dripping. You want to wring it out, fold it so you get a nice thickness to the towel.
Yep.
Less pressure points. And these are nice, very...
They're 70-30 blend.
They're an all-purpose towel.
Yeah, they are. Basically, they're my favorite towel for any shop work, any paint work, interior work. They're perfect because they are 70-30 blend,
Terry
365 GSM, and a terry weave. You're right.
So we're going to gently remove the polish residue, and you actually feel it through the towel when the polish residue is gone from the surface. Because you've got a bit of drag, and as soon as that polish residue is gone, so is the drag.
And the beauty of using the O&R is we're actually lubricating the surface with the towel, so we're not adding any micromarring or anything like that you would normally get sometimes when removing a polish.
Exactly.
Especially on something with soft clear coat.
Yeah.
It's just giving you that little bit of insurance.
And once we remove that, we're going to need to dry the surface. Now we're going to use paint prep as a drying aid.
So let me get you some paint prep.
And paint prep is the exception to the rule. Normally Optimum products, the less you use, the better it is. Paint prep, we're actually going to apply rather liberally.
Okay.
So if this were Optimum car wax, that would be enough to do the whole car.
Yeah. So another 365 just in gold.
Yeah.
That's what we're using.
And I let the paint prep dwell a little bit.
That way it can actually like clean and...
Yes. So paint prep is a mild solvent that removes any oils, waxes, and any other little things you might have on the surface that you don't want that will prevent the coating from adhering.
And the key to a coating is making sure you're doing proper prep. I always recommend if you are going to be adding any type of coating period to your vehicle, make sure you use your manufacturer's recommended paint prep. Primarily because it doesn't matter whether they come from Optimum or another company, they are usually designed to work side by side.
Exactly.
And in this case, paint prep can actually help level Gloss-Coat.
Yes, it actually makes the application of Gloss-Coat easier, and it helps with the self-leveling of the Gloss-Coat.
Yeah, so awesome. So what do we need next? Gloss-Coat.
We need Gloss-Coat.
All right, I will trade you.
And you'll notice we're wearing gloves.
Yep.
There's two reasons for wearing gloves with applying Gloss-Coat. First, your own personal safety. You don't want hydrophobic hands.
That's true.
Secondly, we don't want our greasy little fingers touching the car that we just paint prepped.
That's the worst, especially, you know, maybe you're eating some pizza and you're wiping your car down and then you change hands and touch it with that.
Yeah.
Now you've got pizza grease you need to get off.
So we removed this cap, and normally they're very tight. We pre-loosened it before this. So we didn't have to sit there with pliers trying to get it off. And then it comes with this blue applicator tip. Please do use it. We do not press the plunger of the syringe, we tap the plunger of the syringe. And we just want to put actually a fair amount on the end, but think of it, you know, Levi mentioned pizza, think of it eating a quarter of the pizza.
So you've got your slice of pizza basically right there.
Yeah, because that's basically where you're going to be touching the vehicle. And from there, we apply to the vehicle. Now, we apply in a circular motion with no pressure. Pressure is not your friend. If you feel like you're working, you're doing something wrong. So we apply in a circular motion, and you see it's going on as a liquid.
Yep.
And as it cross-links into the paint, it's not evaporating. You'll notice we're not wearing a mask. And with Gloss-Coat, a mask is really not necessary because there's nothing evaporating off the surface. When you start feeling a little bit of drag,
tap it again.
Tap it a few more drops, and we keep going. Now, we'll purposely throw a high spot on over here.
There's one right here.
People always ask, well, what about a high spot? Well, let's make a high spot. So you want to be methodical in your application, make sure you get all the areas. And you'll notice that it's starting to look like an oil slick on water.
Yeah, and in this room it really amplifies it for us.
Yes.
Right here, you can see exactly where you applied it.
We let that oil slick on water look, basically cross-link into the paint, till about 80% of it is gone.
Okay, yeah, you can see it's starting to get lighter.
Yeah, it's starting to go back to clear.
Yeah.
When 80, 75, 80% is back to clear, we take a pearl weave towel.
Yep, so this is one of our pearl weaves. The best part about it is because it's 80-20, because of the pearl weave, it's not gonna absorb any of this coating off the surface. It's just gonna help level it. And because of the pearl weave itself, it's very tight. So it's just gonna glide over the surface. Whereas other, like your terry towels or anything like that, actually can kind of grab and pull at the coating. So we're trying to ensure that this is a true leveling action with this towel.
Exactly.
So
and
basically just gonna set it and just start wiping.
And you're not actually removing any of the coating residue.
No, we're just taking all these heavier spots and we're just kind of moving them around to make sure that some spots that maybe didn't get it, we're making sure we get all that on there. I'm just going over to make sure I've got everything off of here. And we've still got that high spot right here that we applied. It's still sitting there, it's still working. And it's always good to have a buddy help you.
Yeah.
Then you can have another set of eyes.
Ideally, if you can, when you're applying a coating, apply it in a team of two. One that applies, one that wipes off.
Yeah.
And the one wiping off is actually the quality control.
Yeah.
They're the leader, they're the one doing the brunt of the work.
So if, say you're working in a shop and it's you and maybe you have an assistant, have your assistant add the coating itself, and then you, as the shop owner, manager, look over the vehicle as you're removing it. That way you can provide the best quality possible.
Now we're gonna let that high spot sit just a little bit longer.
Yeah, you can see it's still starting to go and starting to cross-link some more. Yeah. But there is still quite a bit of product.
Exactly. There. So we're gonna put the applicator aside for a second. Do two little things here. First of all, we want to clean out the applicator tip. To clean out the applicator tip, we remove it from the syringe. If I can pass you the syringe. We use our paint prep again. The applicator tip just happens to fit perfectly over the end of the paint prep, and we give it one little spray.
So it's now cleaned out the tip.
Exactly.
Removed any of the gloss coat that was in the tip. So that way when you guys go to store it, that tip's cleared, ready to go for the next time, because you never really use all your gloss coat.
No.
So it's good to have it around and saved.
Yep.
Before we put the lid on though, we've got a little trick.
We want to remove as much of the air from the syringe, and you want to get it above the line here.
Yeah.
Now it's already above the line, so we'll fake it a little bit and we'll draw in a bit of air.
Well, that's a lot of air.
Yeah. But for the purpose of the video, what you want to do is cap it with your thumb with a bit of pressure and press up on the plunger till you feel pressure. And then just get close to the microphone here, release the air. And do that again.
And this is the best way to store your gloss coat.
Yeah, the less air you have in the syringe, the longer it's going to last. And now you can see we just have a very, very small bubble.
Yeah.
From there, keep it in the refrigerator.
Cool. And that's always nice for any time that you have you never know, there's stuff that you may want to coat. Yeah. I've coated my bikes, I've coated my air conditioning, my lawnmower. So you can coat everything and just about anything that has a clear coated surface or glass
painted
or plastic.
Plastic, yeah. So that high spot.
High spot's still sitting there.
Still there. We can take our pearl weave towel and see if it will take it off, and more than likely it will. And it did.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of time in this whole video we've been making this where it's actually, yeah,
it's gone.
It's gone.
But if you do have a high spot that's persistent, instead of sitting there rubbing on it, you want to take your applicator and quickly
wipe over that spot again.
You just reapply over the spot and immediately wipe it off with the Pro Weave towel.
Okay.
And then from there, when you're done with the towel, it's not garbage. It's still a good towel.
Yeah, what I like to do is I'll take these towels, keep them with my bucket of O&R, and I'll actually take the towels as I'm finishing up with the coating, and let's say I'm transitioning, this towel's now done, I've used all 8 sides to remove coating, I'm bringing out a fresh towel. I'll take that towel and I'll actually set it in my O&R and soak it. The goal of this is 1, to keep the coating from curing into the towel, but 2, it basically keeps it wet. So I can wring that towel out, I can put it in the washing machine, I can reuse these towels for glass, for interiors, for wheels, for door jams. I mean, it's an investment at this point. And you're gonna get the most that you possibly can out of your towels. Why not? I mean, you could throw them away, but that's just throwing money away. As far
and
as
your
I'm
applicator,
concerned.
same thing. Put it in your O&R bucket, squeeze it out a couple times, let it dry. It's good to go another
You'll
day.
be able to reuse it again. So awesome, man. Appreciate it. So the last step that we have to do before we send this thing out.
You can let it sit for 8 hours overnight if you want. And ideally, that is the proper thing to do. After that, OptiSeal.
Okay.
Or you can OptiSeal it 1 hour after the application.
So let's say you've finished, let's say you've had the car all day, you finished coating it, it's maybe 3 o'clock. Customer's coming to pick it up at 5.
Right.
At 4 o'clock, so say you're done with the car, from 3 to 4, it can sit in your shop.
Yes.
And then you can take OptiSeal, which is over here. You can take OptiSeal and basically recover the car in OptiSeal.
The OptiSeal, I like to call it anti-customer insurance. We tell the customer, don't wash your car for a week.
Right.
Customer hears, oh, hose off your car. When you get home. The OptiSeal will protect against that. Within a week, the OptiSeal is actually gone. The Gloss-Coat will have shed the OptiSeal, but the OptiSeal will protect the Gloss-Coat while it's curing.
And I've had, it's good insurance. I've had customers that they've had their car coated by me in my shop, and then the husband has flown away to go on a business trip. His wife has come in to pick up the car. She takes the car home, parks it, and when the husband comes back 4 or 5 days later, the car is parked, looking gorgeous, sitting there, and the sprinklers are running, spraying the car down for him, and it's been sitting there for 5 days while he's been gone. I've had those customers call and go, oh my gosh, what do I do? And because we had installed OptiSeal on the surface of the vehicle, there was almost no water spots at all. He was surprised by it, he couldn't believe it, and the water spots that were there, we just touched them up with some MDR, and we were done. Called it good, coating was still safe, and this really is the best insurance you can have for your coating, and you hardly use any product.
No, you can do 50 cars with that bottle.
Exactly. This will last a long time. So, well, I appreciate it, Ivan. Hopefully you guys understand that a little better now. Again, very simple process. Anybody can do this.
If you can apply a wax, you can apply Gloss-Coat.
And you got that long working time. It's humidity cured. So it's not going to cure instantaneously, hence we use the OptiSeal. That way it continues to cure. Depending on the humidity, it can be anywhere from a week to 3 weeks to a month, possibly. Just depends on the area and the temperature and the timing that you're doing it in. So awesome. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thank you, Ivan, for coming and teaching us the proper method for a Gloss-Coat. You guys can pick all these products up at theragcompany.com. Ivan, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
And remember, subscribe right here.
Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment below. And for more videos, stay tuned right here on the Rag Company YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.